Can we start housekeeping, please?
Thank you for participating in today's meeting. If attending in person, please do not connect to Zoom or teleconference while in the room, and please silence all devices. If translation is provided, click on the globe at the bottom of your screen to select either English or Spanish. Public comment will be taken after each item. If you're in the auditorium and wish to comment, please use the iPads located in the lobby or complete a blue speaker card as available. If you need assistance, please find a South Coast AQMD employee. Speakers may be limited to a total of 3 minutes or less for all agenda items. Times may be shortened to ensure all speakers can be heard. A countdown timer will be displayed on the screen for each public comment. More time will be allotted for Spanish translation that is not simultaneous. For questions or issues on making a public comment, please call the public advisor at 909-396-2432. That's 909-396-2432. Please adhere to the speaker time limit and treat others with courtesy, civility, and respect. Failure to do so can result in your mic being muted or you being removed from the meeting. Be aware that this meeting...
Really?
Did we finish those housekeepings? Yes, we did. Okay. Well, happy Friday, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Technology Committee meeting here today, and we'll start with roll call, please.
Supervisor Hagman.
Present.
Mayor Locke Dawson.
Here.
Mayor McCallum.
Here.
Board Member Padilla Campos is absent. Supervisor Wayne is absent and Chair Rodriguez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and jump into action item 1, recognize revenue, amend contracts for AB 617 residential air filtration program and reimburse general fund. We have a staff presenter. Good afternoon.
Hello? Yes. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kelly Trainer Gamino, and I'm here to present agenda action number 1 to recognize revenue, amend contracts for the AB 617 residential air filtration program. Next slide, please. So as background, in November of 2022 and in February of 2025, the board approved $2.6 million for the AB 617 residential air filtration program, and that totaled $5.2 million. This is the residential program that services the East LA, Boyle Heights, West Commerce, and the Eastern Coachella Valley communities. Also in February of 2024, the US EPA awarded South Coast AQMD a clean air grant in the amount of $100,000 for the same program. The award will be distributed to participants and residents in those 2 communities. Next slide, please. So to quickly summarize, the recommended actions would be to recognize the $100,000 grant from the US EPA, then to authorize the executive officer to amend the contracts for the 4 existing vendors in that program with an amount of up to $22,900, and then reimburse the general fund for administrative costs of about $10,000. And with that, that concludes my presentations. I'm willing to take any questions you may have.
Thank you for the report, and I'll just see if there's any questions, colleagues.
Move approval.
Okay, thank you. And do we have any public comment?
There are no hands raised.
Okay, very good. We'll go ahead and close public comment. And we have any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and call for the vote, please.
Supervisor Hagman. Mayor Locke Dawson.
Aye.
Mayor McCallum.
Yes.
Board Member Padilla Campos is absent. Supervisor Wayne is absent. Chair Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay, thank you. Item 2 today is execute contract to assess emissions of a linear generator. And we have a staff report.
Favorite topic.
All right. Good afternoon, Chair, member of the committee. I'm Sam Chow. I'm a program supervisor in the demonstration group. I'll be bringing you the next 3 items. So this is the very first one. So the first one is to execute contract to study emissions of our linear generator. Next slide. By way of background, linear generators, as you guys know, is a unique power generation device that's alternative to internal combustion engines. It extracts the heat from any fuel to drive a piston in a linear motion. And this has the potential for higher efficiency and lower emissions without the need for after treatment compared to an internal combustion engine. But doing so, this unique operating characteristics means it can operate virtually any fuel so long it provides the heat to drive the piston. Linear generator has been extremely popular for backup and prime power generation, but also in microgrids for building electrification and most recently EV charging. Despite its popularity, there's still very limited deployment to date, and additional studies are very much needed to understand its full emissions profile over all variety of fuels and its long-term emission performance over time. Next slide. So the photo proposal, we have partnered with UC Riverside and Hyliion to conduct a comprehensive emission study on Hyliion's Carnot generator. Hyliion is one of the two existing linear generator manufacturers, and you have heard their presentation at Tech Committee earlier this year. For the phase one of this study, UCR would go on site to Hyliion's development center in Cincinnati, Ohio, to collect gaseous, PM, toxics, metals, emissions on up to 5 different kind of fuels. For the second phase, UC Riverside will tag along Hyliion's first commercial deployment in the South Coast Air Basin to conduct initial and periodic testing of the Carnot generator on site for a period of up to 2 years. Next slide. So the cost for conducting the testing is $423,000. Hyliion is providing some in-kind contributions for R&D, the cost of the generator, and the testing support for a total project cost of $2.6 million. Next slide. Yeah, the recommended action is to execute a contract with UCR to conduct the testing. I'll take the question on this item. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. And do we have any questions? Mayor McCallum?
Thank you very much. Just a question, are we going to do the same with the other generator, or it's not needed, or what?
Yeah, good question. So we previously had an item before the Technology Committee working with Mainspring and Gas Technology Institute, and they'll be deploying a unit at Cal State Long Beach, and we'll be doing testing on other fuels and durability testing over time.
Good, thank you.
Other questions or comments?
Thank
Supervisor?
you. I'm fascinated by the newer technology, but to take 2 years to study it so we know we can actually support it and deploy it, is there any way we can do this for a year period and kind of push through the testing?
Yeah, so the 2-year period really is for the long-term durability testing. The initial tests will look at their earlier fuels and point to any problems with those additional fuels for the emissions. The idea here with this test, we're getting in very early with this company before they start to manufacture these on a large scale. So they're willing to make tweaks to these units if there's things found on the emissions profile that need to be adjusted.
And that can be done in a very quickly period of time. For example, I mean, Larry and I just had an MSRC yesterday, and we directed to use some of the funds for this new clean energy. But the time period for submittals are 6 months. So if don't you know if this is an option?
Well, currently under 11.3, we have natural gas approved as a fuel for these. So they would have to meet those requirements for natural gas for NOx emissions. But we don't know what the other fuels look like for these linear generators. So, they always could be, as long as they meet 11.3, they could always be installed without using those other fuels that everyone's interested in. And we'll provide interim status reports during this time period also.
Great, thank you. And Wayne, just another suggestion too is I'm finding out through all the different organizations I'm a member of, trying to spread the word about this new technology going and who can apply. There's not a lot of knowledge within governance about these newer technologies or even exposure to it. I know we have the TAC committees that you can also go through, but on a broader scale, maybe some on our websites that we're working with these partners. These are some of the new technologies that we're experiencing, even though they're not ready for prime time, because as you know, a lot of the studying takes a long time, or staff assistance to help some of these entities plan to get, we used to get this out at SCAG, which I know is not our area here as much, but planning grants. So we could use, planning grants for our cities. There's a lot of changes for our municipal, fleets, our county fleets, our infrastructure that we need to have some of that technology be part of those planning, maybe something we could look at. How do we get them to be up to speed on the technology?
Thanks, Supervisor. Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, do we have any public comment?
There are no hands raised.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and close public comment. And we'll just ask the scope of the study, looking at different fuel types. Is there something that is a different type than what's seen on Mainspring or in Hyliion that will be measured and studied than usual?
Well, the fuel types of interest right now, natural gas, particularly renewable natural gas would be the first one. Hydrogen's very popular. Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG for short. And then there's other twos that we left open. So perhaps it might be something like ethanol, which, we have a lot of ethanol coming into the basin for gasoline fuel mixing. And the price of ethanol is really good right now. So we have some options right now on the other two fuels to study out of those 5.
So fast forward, is it that we want to kind of see kind of a hierarchy of efficiency from a mission standpoint? What is kind of the highest, best form?
Yeah, well, the market's really going to drive the fuel being used in these, right? Because you want to use the lowest cost energy source typically. So that's going to be one of them. There's other factors that come into play, such as availability, and then also other programs like, either tax credits or credits under the LCFS program that the state administers. So it's really going to be, initially right now, we see natural gas as being the prime source of fuel for these.
Where do you see the final best utility of this study as far as the type of data or information that we'll be gleaning from this? How would you best describe that?
Well, we hope to, first find that all these other additional fuels, the emissions are excellent. Because we know there's a lot of interest in power generation, not only for these EV chargers, but we're seeing data centers. And so the need for electric power generation right now is just every day, if in the news, it's increasing dramatically. So additional power sources are very popular right now and going to be for the next 10, 15 years. So that's an important thing to understand what these emissions are.
And if I could just add, Chair Rodriguez, having South Coast AQMD do an emissions profile analysis is pretty much a golden ticket for a technology or a company that's had the ability to have us look at it. And especially if the results come out positive like we expect, that's going to be something that every air district, every state is going to look at. And that's why we generally have a lot of receptivity and cooperation in doing these kind of projects. And I'd just like to note to what Supervisor Hagman had said earlier, we do have the tech demo. And I think you'll recall when we had the parking lot where we brought a lot of technology. Aaron and I have talked about having a bigger showcase that would highlight some of these technologies with a very broad outreach. And so these are the kind of things that we could talk about and really increase what I hope would be the awareness, the adoption, and the deployment of those cleaner technologies.
We certainly had an impressive version this past year. Hope we can get even more awareness, to the supervisor's point, through the expo, or perhaps we can explore some of the best practices and emerging technologies that we're seeing and bring that to a SCAG forum sometime next year, but we'll maybe look at that offline. So we'll go ahead and call for the vote today.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay.
Supervisor Hagman, Mayor Lock Dawson,
Aye.
Mayor McCallum.
Yes.
Board Member Padilla-Campos is absent. Supervisor Wayne is absent. Chair Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Before moving to item 3, do we have any upcoming update on the Cal State Long Beach study for looking at the mainspring linear generators?
Yeah, that particular study is also co-funded by the California Energy Commission. We're still under contract right now. We're expecting an update and start of the project next year.
Okay, thank you. Item 3, recognize revenue, execute contracts, and reimburse general fund to deploy marine shoreside charging infrastructure.
Right. All right. Thanks, Chair. So the next item is to recognize revenue, execute contract to install high-power marine shoreside charging. All right, next slide. So commercial hovercraft, or CHC for short, you see in the board letter, it's a large family of vessels that operates in our harbor and near water railways. So we have excursion vessels that you see in this item here, also tugs, commercial workboats that you hear in the next agenda item, fishing boats, you name it. And there are a significant source of emissions because they're close proximity in the ports area and coastal areas. For this particular project, Harbor Breeze Cruises, HBC or Harbor Breeze, they have received a demonstration grant from CARB through Port of Los Angeles to deploy 2 zero-emission capable plug-in hybrid excursion boats. These 2 boats are going to be 108-foot long, can house up to 350 passengers with the cleanest engines and a hybrid system with separate energy storage system on board to allow to operate on low speed on zero emission mode. South Coast AQMD at the same time has worked with Harbor Breeze Cruises to secure a congressional allocation through the US DOE to help install the charger to support these 2 excursion vessels. Next slide. So the proposal, it will be for Harbor Breeze to install 2 dispensers up to 500 kilowatt of charging rate on dock at Port of LA's new West Harbor development. As part of the Port of LA West Harbor development, the utility transformers and stub out on dock is already pre-existing. For this charger, it will be supporting both Harbor Breeze 2 plug-in hybrid boats and also available for public use for any vessel, such as the next agenda item. Next slide. So the funding source through DOE is $500,000 to install the chargers. Harbor Breeze will provide at least $125 in cost share for total project to be $625. Next slide. So the actions are to recognize the revenue from DOE, execute contract with Harbor Breeze, and reimburse the general fund for the administrative costs. And that's the presentation. I'll take any questions. Thank you.
I'll move it.
Second.
There any public comment?
No hands are raised.
Okay, we'll close public comment. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Supervisor Hagman.
Hagman, aye.
Mayor Log Dawson.
Aye.
Mayor McCallum.
Yes.
Board Member Padilla-Campos is absent. Supervisor Wayne is absent. Chair Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay, moving along to item 4. Recognize revenue and execute contracts to deploy zero-emission commercial workboats. And we'll have our 3rd in a row here, so please take it away.
Sorry, Chair, before we start, Mayor Locke Dawson has a disclosure in relation to this item. Mayor, I'm happy to read your disclosure for you if you'd like.
Yes, sure. I'm nodding my head. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure. For agenda item number 4, I do not have a financial interest, but I'm required to identify for the record that I'm a board member for the California Air Resources Board, which is involved in this item. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go
right.
ahead and move forward.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So next agenda item is to recognize the revenue, execute contract to deploy zero-emission commercial workboats. All right, next slide. As I stated on the last agenda item, commercial workboats is also in the commercial hovercraft family. They provide a wide variety of support function within the ports and in our coastal areas. The 2 pictures you see here are from our actual applicants in this program. You see they're providing vessel towing and The bottom vessel is a rescue boat that operates in Port of in San Pedro. Commercial workboats have zero emission available, namely mostly battery electric, but they're very limited in deployment due to this high cost and lack of charging infrastructure on the shore. For that, the US EPA have awarded South Coast AQMD a Clean Air Technology Initiative grant in September to help deploy some zero emission commercial workboats and remove some of these adoption barriers. Next slide. For the proposal, staff proposed to leverage the recently closed Carl Moyer solicitation and fund up to 3 eligible zero-emission workboat application of the Moyer solicitation. 2 of the vessels will be voluntary patrol vessel with City of LA Department of Recreation and Parks in order to support the lifeguard operation out of the Cabrillo Marina in San Pedro. 1 additional boat will be for vessel visits for the Pacific Towing operator of the Newport Harbor. They'll be using the Vita seal as you see in the bottom picture there. As part of the CADI program requirement, we do have to report 6 months of data, of the operational data for validation of these vessels. The charging will be using the existing power on dock, but they do have access to either existing or upcoming DC charging nearby. Next slide. So the total project cost for these 3 vessels is estimated to be $1.5 million. South Coast will administer the US EPA CADI portion and the Carl Moyer portion. The core vouchers will be administered separately by CAR and at the point of the delivery. Next slide. The recommended actions are to recognize the revenue from US EPA and authorize executive officer to execute 3 contracts to deploy commercial workboats. And that's the presentation. I'll take any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. Any questions, colleagues? Okay.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. And do we have any public comment?
No hands are raised.
Then we'll go ahead and close public comment and any other discussion. Okay, let's go ahead and call for the vote, please.
Supervisor Hagman,
Aye.
Mayor Lock Dawson,
Aye.
Mayor McCallum.
Yes.
Board Member Padilla-Campos is absent. Supervisor Nguyen is absent. Chair Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Item 5, issue RFP for technical assistance to support South Coast AQMD's Technology Advancement Office activities and programs implementation efforts. And we have presenter Mr. Lee.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Committee and Chair. My name is Tom Lee, Manager on Road Incentives. And this item, as you described, is to issue an RFP for technical assistance to support technology advancement activities and incentive program implementation. Next slide, please. South Coast AQMD's Technology Advancement Office oversees more than 1,500 active project contracts, and that's between our 2 branches, the 2 groups, incentives and tech demo, as Sam described some of the activities there earlier. The incentives group alone receives and evaluates over 1,000 project applications in a year. Those would be the programs like Carl Moyer. And some of these projects can be quite complex, and some can take a long time to implement. Give an example, a typical clean truck project takes 5 to 7 years, and a locomotive project can take 10 to 15 years to implement. Now, with this high workload, staff sometimes would need some contractor support. And every 2 to 3 years, we issue an RFP for technical assistance so that we can renew our pool of contractors and to allocate new funding. All right, next slide, please. So this is probably old news, but just a little bit of a summary of the 2 groups. Incentives group administers programs like Carl Moyer Prop 1B, Lower Emission School Bus Program, and the newly granted EPA-funded Invest Clean. If I added all these programs together, the staff is implementing approximately $700 million in new funding. Tech Demo Group, as you know, funds research projects, and most of these are not yet commercialized. This program has a funding amount of roughly $12 million a year, And it is currently managing about 100 active contracts. Next slide. So these are kind of the skill sets we're looking for. Experience in grant proposal writing, also experience in evaluating technical proposals in our incentive programs. That would really help. Someone that can technically understand and review a leading edge research proposal for tech demo would help. And also a good understanding of emission reduction and cost effectiveness concepts is a plus. Next slide. Next slide. So this RFP will open on December 5th, and will close in about 2 months on January 30th, 2026. We anticipate the selection process to take 6 to 8 weeks. So the contracting should start around April 2026. Next slide. Staff recommends the release of this RFP, number 2026-07, for tech assistance for support our activities. And once selections are made to execute contracts with a budget of $500,000 for the incentive side, and that would be funded from split evenly, $250K from Carl Moyer, Fund 32, and $250K from our Community Air Protection Fund 77. Additionally, we're also asking to allocate $300,000 for the tech demo support, and that would come from Clean Fuels Fund 31. So that concludes my presentation. Happy to answer questions.
Okay, thank you for your report, Mayor McCallum.
Thank you very much. Essentially, you're going to be getting a bench of people to support you. Do we have anybody doing that now, or is this a brand new concept?
Yeah, we have consultants helping us now. The last time we did this RFP release was 2 years ago. So a good example of some of the work they helped with us recently was to help with some of the tasks and writing the proposal for the Invest Clean application, audit support for certain grants, things like that.
How big is the bench right now? How many?
We currently have 2 active contractors helping us in the incentive side, and a pool of about 5 to 6 on tech demonstration side. Currently still holding contracts.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Supervisor.
Thank you. Similar lines of communication. It's one thing when we gear up, and we saw this when I was on council, mayor, we had a big building thing. We're going to handle it internally. So it's either hire staff or go out to consultants. For short periods of times, it makes sense to hire trained consultants because by the time you train internally, the workload's down. But in the report, you're telling me that some of this stuff has taken 7 to 15 years. If this is a long-term type of thing, would it not be better to have internal staff that you are controlling their time and expertise, or is it strictly for the gear up portion right now, getting these grants out and get them in?
Yeah, we definitely have had a surge the last couple of years in funding and availability for incentive programs and also the technology side with the grants we received on that side. So this one is helping with the current surge. And then there are just some standing things we need help with that perhaps, full-time staff, we don't need to add on that side just as things are intermittent in the way they occur. So these consultants help with those situations.
No, I like the blend, and I'll leave that to internally what's best for your team, but I like the concept, and I'll move the item.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Mayor Lock Dawson?
Nope.
No, I just saw you come off of mute, so wasn't sure there.
I
Okay.
was just
then
waiting
we'll
to
see
say
if it-
aye.
Okay,
Ready to say.
fantastic. Let's go to a public comment first. Do we have any?
There are no hands raised, Chair.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment, move the vote, please.
Supervisor Hagman, Mayor Log Dawson,
Aye.
Mayor McCallum.
Yes.
Board Member Padilla-Campos is absent. Supervisor Nguyen is absent. Chair Rodriguez.
Yes,
Motion passes 4 ayes.
thank you. Item 6 is recognize revenue and authorize EV charging fees to implement new EV charger network at South Coast Air Quality Management District headquarters. And we have a presenter.
Hi, good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Nicole Silva, and I'm a program supervisor in the Technology Demonstration Unit, and I'll be presenting this item today. Next slide. So just as some background, one of the eagerly awaited projects is the installation of the new EV charger system here at headquarters. And one of the steps that we need to do prior to commissioning all of those units for public use is to set new rates so that users can utilize this equipment. Next slide, please. So we did some research, looked at what our utility provider, Southern California Edison, bases their electricity rates on, and there's a variety of factors: demand, time of day, day of the week, and even season. And they've also given us notice that they will also be looking to increase rates for different reasons. That'll be beginning in 2026. Next slide, please.
Never go down.
So as part of this proposal, we're requesting that you allow the executive officer authority to set and adjust EV charger fee rates as deemed necessary, where proposal for the recommendation for these energy fees would be per kilowatt hour, and it would range from 30 cents to 45 cents, depending on the time of day and the season, for these units to cover costs for using these chargers. Next slide, please. And therefore, for our recommended actions, again, we're looking to set fee rates and recognize revenue from these EV charging fees into the general fund, and requesting that you authorize the executive officer to set and adjust the EV charging fees as needed, so to recover electricity costs for the charger usage here at South Coast AQMD headquarters. And I'm open to any questions you may have.
Thank you for that report. Any questions, colleagues?
Just a comment.
Supervisor?
Thank you. Wayne, this is, I'm glad we're giving you the authority because it can go week by week, day by day, and to be able to have that adjusted scale. But it sounds like you need a gas linear generator in the backyard to have your own power plant. We can evaluate it right here. 45 cents a kilowatt.
Well, the rates appear to be competitive. I know we're charging at my city about, I think it's 30 cents a kilowatt hour, so.
I'll move it.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment today?
No hands raised, Chair.
Okay, thank you. We'll close public comment. And just curious, what is the estimated annual cost that will be offsetting with the fees?
We're looking to receive about $150,000 per year based off these fees that will offset those costs.
Okay, that been the historical range that we've been having to budget for?
That's what we've projected based off of past usage
Okay,
and what we're proposing in terms of these rates.
okay. We're looking to just get to net zero and be able to offset an expense so that when we have our budget discussions, it's one less challenge to reach balanced. So, okay, very good. We'll go ahead and, unless there's any other comment, seeing none, go ahead and call for the vote.
Supervisor Hagman,
Hagman, aye.
Mayor Lock Dawson,
Aye.
Mayor McCallum.
Yes,
Board Member Padilla-Campos is absent. Supervisor Nguyen is absent. Chair Rodriguez.
Yes?
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Okay, thank you. We're to the administrative action item, item 7, approve payments for contracts. I think we had a presenter.
Yeah, Chair, there's no presentation on this item, but we're happy to answer any questions if there's any questions regarding this item.
Okay, were there any questions?
I'll move it.
second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and call for the vote, please.
Just before that, I note no hands raised for public comment.
What was that?
No hands raised for public comment.
Oh, thank you so
Sorry.
much. Okay, very good. We'll go ahead and close public comment, call for the vote.
Supervisor Hagman,
Hagman, aye.
Mayor Lock Dawson,
Aye.
Mayor McCallum.
Yes,
Board Member Padilla-Campos is absent. Supervisor Nguyen is absent. Chair Rodriguez.
Yes,
Motion passes 4 ayes.
thank you. Any other business? Okay, seeing none. I would be interested at some opportunity next year to touch base with linear generator vendors and begin to better understand what they see as kind of the next opportunity for use in the linear generator space. Are there opportunities for where else could it be used? Where else could that technology be used? Just kind of seeing what they're seeing the industry kind of evolve to. So perhaps we can look to the first 2 quarters to have them come out and give general updates on the technology. It'd be great to hear that. Otherwise, we'll just go to, anyone have other business? Seeing none? Okay. Do we have other public comments today?
Again, no hands are raised. Thank you.
Okay, that was item 9. We'll go ahead and close public comment. That will conclude our very efficient meeting today. It's our last one of the year as well. So good to go out in such fashion. So we'll let everyone get on into their busy day. I'll just want to thank all my colleagues that it's an honor to work with you on this committee, as well on the governing board. I want to wish you all and staff as well, since we won't be seeing you all in this committee anyway until next year. Wonderful Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. And again, to thank to our dedicated staff. You make it all happen. We appreciate your dedication, your hard work, and commitment to our mission. And we'll go ahead and conclude our meeting. Thank you so much.
See you next year.
See you next year.